Look, can I ask you something? Have you ever had that weird moment where you technically know people, but you don't feel like you're actually close to anyone? And then you start wondering, is it me? Like, am I secretly just hard to be friends with? Here's the point. It's probably not your personality, it's a few hidden behaviors, usually built out of loneliness, that quietly push people away. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what they are and how to fix them without becoming fake. And near the end, I'll give you a 7-day closeness reset you can follow step by step, because just put yourself out there is useless advice. All right, quick clarification. When people say I don't have close friends, they usually don't mean I never talk to anyone. They mean I don't feel known. I don't feel chosen. I don't feel safe enough to relax around people. And what makes this tricky is the behaviors that block closeness are often protective, not toxic. So I'm not here to roast you. I'm here to name the patterns that keep the door locked, even when you want someone to walk in. Scrolling old texts, phone lighting up with group chat but nothing personal, laughing with coworkers, then going quiet at home, typing "we should hang out," then deleting it. Yeah, that. Here's the big idea, the closeness equation. Here's the simplest way I've found to explain close friendships. Closeness equals repetition plus safety plus shared reality. Repetition. You actually interact more than once every few months. Safety. The person feels emotionally safe around you. Shared reality. Inside jokes, shared memories, we moments. And loneliness messes with all three. Because when you've been lonely for a while, you start doing things that make sense in your head but signal the opposite of safety to other people. That's the real reason closeness doesn't form. So let's talk about the patterns. The last one is the sneakiest because it looks like independence. Behavior number 1. The invisible wall. Okay, this one is common. You show up, you're polite, you're funny, you're even likable. But people never get close to you because you're like socially smooth glass. No grip, no entry point. Signs you might do this. You keep everything light, even when it would make sense to go deeper. You deflect with humor. You rarely share what you actually think or feel. You talk about events, not emotions. You're always good and busy, but never real. And look, this is usually a defense mechanism. If you grew up learning that being vulnerable gets you judged or ignored, you learn to perform fine. But here's the problem. People bond through tiny mutual risks, not trauma dumping, not oversharing, just small moments of truth. If you give people nothing to hold, they can't hold you. Here's a simple fix that doesn't feel dramatic. The 1% vulnerability move. Instead of telling someone your whole life story, you say one sentence that's slightly more real than usual. Examples. Honestly, I've been a little isolated lately. I've been missing having people I can just relax with. I'm trying to get better at staying connected. That hit me harder than I expected. That's it. One sentence. It signals I'm safe. I'm human. You can be human too. Behavior number 2, the friendship test. You make people prove they care without telling them. This one is brutal because it feels logical. When you've felt ignored before, your brain starts trying to protect you. So, you test people. Not consciously like a villain, more like quietly. It looks like if they wanted to, they would. You stop initiating to see who reaches out. You give short replies to see if they chase. You wait for them to notice your mood. You interpret delays as rejection. But here's the thing. Most people aren't rejecting you. They're just busy, distracted, anxious, or assuming you're fine. So what happens? You test them. They fail a test they didn't know they were taking. You pull back. They feel the distance and assume you're not interested. And that's how friendships die quietly. Me stops texting to see if they care. Them assumes I'm busy. Friendship evaporates. The fix? Direct bids. Instead of tests, you make small, direct asks. Not needy, not dramatic, just clear. Examples. Want to grab coffee this week? I'd love to catch up. Can I vent for 5 minutes? I miss you. Can we plan something soon? Can you check in on me this week? I've been off. That's not desperation. That's leadership. Close friendships don't happen through mind reading. They happen through clear signals. Behavior 3. The emotional drain pattern. Every interaction becomes heavy. Let's be honest. This is where people get defensive. So I'll say it carefully. Sometimes loneliness makes you use people as a relief valve. You don't mean to. You're just carrying a lot. And when someone finally gives you attention, it's like everything spills out. What it looks like. You vent every time you talk. You don't ask if they have the capacity. You skip connection and go straight to problems. You talk at people, not with them. And again, I get it. When you've been holding your breath emotionally for months, you finally exhale. But closeness needs balance, support, lightness, curiosity, laughter, shared interest. If every conversation feels like emotional labor, people start associating you with pressure. The fix? Permission plus container. Before you vent, ask, do you have the bandwidth for something real? Can I unload for literally 2 minutes, then I'm good? Are you in a good headspace for heavy stuff? And then, container it. Set a quick limit, then shift to connection. Example. Okay, that's the messy part. Thank you. Now tell me what you've been into lately. What's new with you? This tells people, I'm not here to use you. I want us. Behavior 4. The transaction vibe. You reach out when you need something, not to bond. This one hides behind adulthood, because adult life is busy, right? So reaching out can start to feel functional. And that creates a pattern where people experience you as someone who checks in only when you need help, someone who disappears when things are fine, someone who treats plans like optional suggestions, someone who networks but doesn't nurture. Even if you're a good person, this signals low safety, because closeness requires I can count on you. The fix? Micro-nurture. You don't need grand gestures. Send small signals that say, I remember you. Examples, this reminded me of you. Meme, article, song. How did your thing go? Follow-up is huge. No need to reply, just rooting for you this week. And here's the big one. Be reliable in tiny ways. Show up when you say you will. Confirm plans. Don't vanish. Consistency is insanely attractive in friendship. Behavior 5. The spotlight thief. You're talking, but not connecting. This one is sneaky because it's not about being loud. It's about where the focus goes. Signs? You interrupt without meaning to. You one-up with your own story. You jump to advice too fast. You feel silence because silence feels unsafe. You ask questions, but don't follow the thread. The result? People feel talked with, but not felt. The fix? The 3-question rule. When someone shares something, don't switch to your story yet. Ask 3 simple follow-ups. How did that feel? What happened next? What do you want to do about it? And then reflect 1 line. That makes sense. I'd feel the same. That sounds like a lot. That reflection is emotional oxygen. Behavior 6. The disappearing act. You call it independence, but it reads like disinterest. Okay, this is the one I teased earlier, because a lot of people who don't have close friends are actually strong, independent, capable, self-contained. But here's the uncomfortable truth. If you disappear long enough, people stop trying. And if you never let anyone feel needed in your life, people assume they don't really want closeness. This shows up as, you take forever to reply. You ghost when you're overwhelmed. You decline invites without offering alternatives. You say, I'm good, even when you're not. You isolate when you feel low. And again, this makes sense emotionally. Isolation feels safer than risking rejection, but it creates a loop. You feel lonely, you withdraw, people back off, you feel lonelier. The fix? Two-sentence re-entry. When you've gone quiet, you don't need a dramatic apology essay. You send 2 sentences. Examples? Hey, I've been in my head lately. I'm not ignoring you. How are you? I've been overwhelmed and quiet. I miss you though. What's been going on? Sorry I vanished. I'm back. Want to catch up this week? That's enough to reopen the door. The real reason. The loop. So here's the real reason you don't have close friends. It's not that you're unlikable. It's that loneliness taught you patterns that accidentally signal, I'm not safe to approach. I don't need you. I'm unpredictable. This will be emotionally expensive. And people don't avoid you because you're bad. They avoid you because closeness requires ease. So the goal isn't to become a different person. The goal is to become a little more open, a little more consistent, a little more reciprocal. That's it. And if you're thinking, okay, but what do I do tomorrow? Good, because here comes the reset. The 7-day closeness reset. Actionable payoff. This is simple. Not easy, but simple. Day 1. Pick 2 people. Not your best friends. Just 2 people you'd like to be closer with. Day 2. Send a micro-nurture. 1 sentence plus a little warmth. Hey, this made me think of you. Or, hope your week's not crushing you. Day 3. Make 1 direct bid. Want to grab coffee Saturday? Give a day and time. No vague, we should. Day 4. 1% vulnerability. 1 honest sentence. Not trauma, just truth. Day 5. Follow-up. This is where most people fail. Ask, how did that thing go? Follow-up is closeness glue. Day 6. Create a shared moment. Invite them into a small experience. Walk, gym, lunch, a game, a show, a bookstore run, something easy. Day 7. Lock in repetition. Send, I'd love to do this again. Want to make it a monthly thing? That message changes everything because closeness isn't built on intensity, it's built on frequency without pressure. End on a high note, call to action and warmth. Look, if you've been lonely, I'm not going to tell you to try harder. I'm going to tell you this. You can be a good friend and still not have close friends yet. Those aren't the same thing. The difference is practice and small, consistent signals. If any of these patterns hit a little too hard, pick just 1 to work on this week. Not 6, 1. And tell me in the comments, which one do you think you do without realizing it? Because I read those, and I'll make a follow-up video breaking down the one you guys mention the most. All right, you're not broken. You're just learning closeness like a skill. See you in the next one.